Man, there is no place like home. I'm in the heart of East Liverpool, Ohio, with some dear friends, Bob and Robin BOSCO, and of course Bob and Robin's Flowers, a staple of this community. And I can't tell you how many times I would call and say, Bobby, I need a little bit of cash for the East Liverpool Potter broadcast. And he and his lovely bride never, ever said no. So that's how this whole thing started about 10 years ago, me with these videos and coming back to East Liverpool and going into West Virginia and Western Pennsylvania to just say thanks to so many wonderful people. But before we talk baseball and his beloved Pirates, we have to talk about this incredible industry. How is it a small business for so many years continues to sell bouquet after bouquet for every type of occasion, for every season, every reason, and you just seem to get better at it and the business continues to grow? Man, this community has been great to you, has it not?
No, we're very involved. We're involved with a lot of booster clubs and organizations. And I'm a fourth generation florist. So my great grandfather started in this business in 1924.
Where at?
Up on the hill, Riverview Florist. And then I left there in 1990, and her and I started this.
Yeah, that's Robin
rest is
coughing in the background.
The
So
rest of it's history.
that's okay. You're allowed to
34
cough.
years.
34 years. I love this business, and I've often said there's nothing like the gift of a bouquet of flowers. Fresh flowers, a plant, still in my opinion is a big ticket item that just puts a smile on people's faces, whether it's a happy occasion or bereavement or whatever, or a celebratory situation with a mylar balloon. Why do you think this industry still works with everything changing?
I don't
It's the
know.
immediacy of it, I think, because you get that reaction from somebody who's thinking about it.
And then another thing that's happened to the industry, and unfortunately, a lot of people have moved away from East Liverpool. But my wire services, they send flowers back to their family.
Right.
And we do 60–70% of our orders are over the wire, coming in from our website, Telefloral, or BloomNet. We give tons of business that way.
Well, one of my prerequisites, whenever I do die, and hopefully it's not for many, many years, wherever I'm at, somebody better send me something from Bob and Robin because I'll be watching. All right, I want to talk baseball.
All right.
Look, I've known you forever. Not only did you support my broadcast, you sat behind me at the field house. You always were just so complimentary. You helped me grow into what I believe a halfway decent broadcaster. You followed my career. I knew you loved baseball. Of course, Mr. Duffy used to work here. I understand that. But I found out you and Robin have been going to spring training for decades.
Since 2001.
How did that start?
Well, we went down to spring training in the late 70s for just a week, and I just loved it. And I told her, I said, when our kids get grown and a little later in life, I said, we're coming down here every year, and we haven't missed a beat since 2001.
So last night, with the news of the Pirate Hall of Fame enshrinement coming up in August when they play Cincinnati, you've got Sanguine going in, you've got Jimmy Leland going in, and Barry Bonds, one of the greatest of all time, going in, and I hope he ends up in Cooperstown before it's over.
Well, he deserves to be in Cooperstown.
There you go. And Jimmy Leland's going in this summer. So I said to my radio audience, and it really got a lot of people fired up when they were calling in, but no one agreed with me. I think in my lifetime I will see them in a World Series, but every caller I took, people just don't have hope. But as I told them, and I just said to you, and I'll have him verify because he knows more about this team than I do, and don't forget the Clementi Museum in Lawrenceville. Been there, absolutely love it.
It's great.
My friend
It's
Ty
great.
Ballou, it's great. But anyway, how is it you've got Jared Jones going tonight, you've got Paul Skeens going tomorrow, Perez last night, Mitch Keller in the rotation, with O'Neill Cruz, who hit two of the hardest baseballs in the major leagues that I've ever seen last
The
night.
two hardest ever.
Yeah,
Ever.
ever.
Yes.
So ultimate.
Yeah.
I think one of them was like 120 miles an hour or something.
121 and 120.
So anyway, he did that last night. You got him, you got Reynolds signed long-term, you got Cabrian Hayes long-term. Something's got to happen that's going to be positive. There's just too much to go right.
Well, I
as a
think now that their pitching staff's set, you know, the name of the game in baseball is pitching.
Always has been.
And they got the pitching right now.
So what do you think of when this Paul Skeens? And it's only 2 outings, and they're worried about pitch count. But man, he could theoretically, when it's all said and done, be throwing like at 103, 104 miles an hour. He's a kid. He won't be 22 until May 29th.
He looks older than he.
That's that mustache.
He's 21.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Only Bob Bosco can wear a mustache. Come on,
Yeah,
Mr.
right.
Skeens. No, but aren't you excited about this team?
Oh, it's unreal. I've been excited for years, but I think right now they're ready to turn the corner.
What do you, as a baseball purist, see about this team? Let's talk Shelton. Let's talk Charrington. Let's talk Nutting. Go ahead.
Well, the only thing that frustrates me, they haven't been scoring runs. As an organization, I feel they should play small ball. Bunt the guys over, steal a few more bases, just until you get your hitting back. And they don't seem to do that. That's what frustrates me.
What I also like about this organization is I think they're doing it the right way. They're chipping away. They get Reynolds the long-term deal. They
Right.
get to Brian Hayes. I think they want to see what Cruz does this year. But in the perfect world, do you think we'll ever see Paul Skeens here if things live up to the billing that he's capable of more than the next 5 years?
Well, that I don't think. Unless
Even if they're winning big?
Unless they change baseball.
Well, talk about that, because you
Well,
said playing field.
Well, the playing field's not even. It's, you got the Dodgers, the Yankees, that their big TV markets are way up here, and the Pirates are down here with Kansas City and whatever. They got to bring that closer together. They just have to.
I may be the only person in the history of the media that is doing a pirate show from a florist. That's what's so
That's
good about
great.
me, right?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Hey, grab that menu. I want to talk about these folks real quick. And I just told Robin just what I need, one more thing to do. But I've noticed this every time I come into town. So what's this city soup all about? Tell me about it. Robin, you can talk.
It's a family business, and they have soup every day. They have a special soup. They have as you can see, a huge menu, and they're very good. They really are very good soups.
Hot pepper, bean soup, potato soup, chicken pasta soup, vegetable soup, wedding soup. I love it.
My favorite is their lasagna soup, but it's kind of thick.
They don't
but
have
it's
it every
but they don't
day.
have
It's
it
a
every
special.
day.
They do have soup of the day on rotation.
Yes,
Right,
on
it's
rotation, yes.
rotated every week.
Tuscan, they got a minestrone, chili, French onion cream of mushroom.
Potato,
Walnut Street,
yep.
500 Walnut Street, East Liverpool.
Yes.
Good enough.
They
for
do a great job. And
Good.
now with it being summer, they're incorporating more sandwiches.
Robert should be doing this video.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Anyway, City Soup, check them out. All right, back to this baseball team. Let's talk about the past. Let's talk about Manny Sanguin. I'm a little older than you, I think.
No, you're a little younger than me.
Yeah.
Are you old?
We're
I'm
71.
67. You're 71.
71.
You've held up pretty good. I didn't realize that. I always thought you were younger than me. My goodness. Listen, Manny Sanguin, and I said this last night in my little video clip and on the radio. When I was growing up in the Sandlot, we all wanted to be Manny Sanguin.
Listen, Manny Sanguin
Talk about it.
was probably the best catcher in the 70s, but he got overshadowed by Johnny Bench.
That's exactly what I
And
said.
most people don't know it. I think his career average was like 296, 297.
Mhm.
And the guy could throw runners out like crazy, but he was overshadowed.
He
You know.
was. So
And he has 2 World Series rings, though, 71 and 79. He was on both teams.
I forgot about 79.
Yep.
Because he wasn't a starter. That's right.
No, he was on the team, he just wasn't the starter.
But I didn't realize in 1970, when the Big Red Machine was getting going and Johnny was like about ready to take a giant step
Right.
to become one of the greatest, if not greatest of all time, he batted .325, finished third in the batting title. I mean, for a catcher to do that, had that huge bat that he swung.
Well, he was
He
tough.
was aggressive, but he
Yeah.
was also a tremendous defensive catcher.
Oh, he was the best,
who
I
had
think.
a great arm. I love Manny, and he did such. Look, Steve Blass, obviously, what he did with him in '71, full
That's right.
games, right?
Yeah.
Complete games in a World Series. He could call a game better than I think anybody of that era. But they're playing Cincinnati when this thing takes place, and I said last night, Johnny Bench should come to town, because even Johnny Bench used to talk about the talent of Manny Sanguin. But you cannot argue the talent of Barry Bonds. In fact, one night with the great Jeff Hathorne, our sports director, who actually used to do some radio with me here in Ohio, I said that Barry Bonds on paper was a better all-around player than Roberto Clemente because of what he could do.
Sure.
And I took a lot of heat for it, and I love Roberto, but when you look at Barry Bonds, he truly was a five-tool player. And what he did in Pittsburgh, even before he went to Frisco and bulked up and hit all the homers, he was he may be the greatest all-around Pirate of all time.
I agree. He had the speed, he had the bat. I think he won, 4 MVPs. I think 2 for Pittsburgh and 2 for San Francisco.
I know he got a bunch of Silver Slugger awards,
Right.
Golden Gloves. Now they said his arm because
But that was his weakest part of his game. His
And
arm wasn't real strong.
Well, I think people look at the Sid Bream
Yeah,
play.
exactly.
That's what they. Now, to Jim Leyland, kindest, nicest human being you could ever want to be a part of, but he was ferocious. And I say this, you need somebody to shake things up a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
If I were the Nutting organization, it's me, Mr. Nutting, and I pick up your paper whenever I'm in town, the East Liverpool Review. I love it, sir. I'd get Leland in there somehow. Just
Yeah.
walking the
Well, I've
halls.
said they need somebody to come in there.
Just as a consultant, sit on the
Yes,
bench.
Definitely.
I mean,
I don't know how hard Shelton is with the players.
You got
Where
these.
Leland didn't take any crap.
Ask Barry Bonds about that.
You know, that was in the early 90s.
Right.
That was great. That was in spring.
I can't
training.
even watch that.
I love to watch it though. I love it.
Well, that's you.
I know, but it's funny, and I think it's funny that the two of them got in the Hall of Fame, the Pirate Hall of Fame together.
How can you not put Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame? That Cooperstown. I mean,
and
Jimmy's going in
and
this.
everybody else in the league was doing the same thing.
But here's the thing. Okay, so you take them to bulk up, but Arnold Schwarzenegger couldn't hit a curveball.
I agree.
But you still have to hit that curveball.
I agree. I've said it for years, and there's a few other ones. How about Clemens? Roger Clemens.
Yeah, I think he should be there too.
Yeah, there's a few other ones.
Hey, how lucky were we though in the '90s? So people say, "Well, they're terrible. You don't know how it's what it's like your whole life." Look, I was here in the late '60s when they stunk, and in the late '80s they were horrible. I mean, they were horrible.
Well, they were bad.
And then Leland comes in, and you start getting these guys like Bonds Bonita, the Van Slyke, the Valier comes in, Doug Draby comes over from Houston.
Well, Sid Thrift was the GM at that one time.
Right.
He really brought in a lot of players.
But
Remember, if you remember, they took a lot of heat when they traded Pena. But
Yeah,
they
to get
got,
those
but
players.
they got LaValliere, Van Slyke, and Mike Dunn's who they got.
Did you see the Pittsburgh Regional Sports thing the other night? So I'm sitting home slamming some pretzels and watching some pirate stuff. And Tony Pena was in tears when he got traded
Oh, I
away.
know he was. The people were mad when
He
they traded him.
loved, well, a lot of it has to do with this guy.
I know.
They all, anybody who's got any kind of Latin American ties, and God bless them, they want to play for
You know,
Clemente.
I go to spring training a lot, as we said.
Yeah.
And I'll see Sanguine down there. And he's got Clemente shirts on all the time. He wears them everywhere.
You realize he's been dead since 1972.
Right.
And
That's
it's
right.
like he's still walking this earth to this day. Young players. I remember Jose Guillen, who I think could have been great. And I'll never forget, I'm in the Pirate dugout, and there's this young kid out in the outfield in a Pirate uniform, just bouncing a ball off the third, playing around, and he just threw a rifle shot to home plate. And I'm like, and somebody went, that's Jose Guillen.
Did you ever see the shot he threw from the corner in right field to third base in the air?
Mm-mm.
It was unreal.
But and what blew me away about Clemente, so I go to the museum, which is beautiful. But when you're a kid, and I saw him the first time in a doubleheader against the Expos at Forbes Field, he trots out on the field. Well, you think he's like 7 foot.
Right.
So I see his uniform at this Clemente Museum. He was like 5'8".
Yeah, he was
I mean,
small.
how's that possible?
I don't know.
But Guillen was built the same way.
Yeah, they were both small.
Yeah, but there's just something about this franchise that I love, and I want my kids to be able to see it. Everybody talks about the Steelers, and I get it, and the Penguins and their cup runs. But you and I are old enough to remember, when the Pirates are winning, there's not a better baseball town than Pittsburgh, right?
Never was. Nope.
So do you get up to many games?
Yeah, I go.
His wife's laughing.
A
But she's as big a fan as you.
A 20-game plan.
But you probably end up
I'm going tomorrow to watch Skeens.
Oh! Oh!
And Saturday night.
Oh! How lucky. How you have to be so excited.
Oh, it's great. It's cool. I was up there when was it? 2 weeks ago when Skeens pitched his first game.
What was that like?
Oh, it was great. It was like the blackout night. Remember, I don't know if you remember.
Tell me about it.
Well, that was
I remember.
the wild card game.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, it was unreal.
Way-o.
People stood the whole first inning to watch him pitch. It was unreal.
They stood.
They stood the whole time. Nobody, the whole stadium.
You know, and you hate to say this because it's much more than that, but it is the best ballpark in the world.
Oh, it's just great.
And even the name PNC, we got a bank, PNC Bank in East Liverpool. It just works. Everything just works. And I'll take this to my grave. And don't forget, you have to send me flowers from Bob Robin. I will. Kevin McClatchy saved baseball.
Well,
in
he
Pittsburgh.
did because they were going to move it.
Out.
There's no doubt.
They were done. And with Mr. Nutting, who that Morning Journal and East Liverpool Review, all these years that I was a broadcaster, I used that East Liverpool Review for the best information. I love that paper. I still think he's doing it the right way. And he's starting to spend money. I know everybody wants him to spend so much more, but I like this process. I like seeing these young guys. And as you and I were talking, as much as a Yankee fan as I am, and I love watching Ohtani and all that stuff, there's something a little bit more special about building it from the foundation
Sure.
up. Now, it may only be a 5-year run, but I think over the next 2 years, we're going to take a giant step. So as I approach the age you are now, and hopefully I'll look as good as you do, I think I'm going to be listening to some really winning baseball in Pittsburgh.
I hope so.
And
I'm
with
looking
the
forward to it.
pitching, Bobby, it gives us such an upper hand as far as to get that done.
Jared Jones has been a real surprise.
Where
I mean,
did this guy come from?
He was a second-round draft pick about 4 years ago, I think. And they said he always threw hard, but his control wasn't real good. But his control's been unreal this year. I swear the other night, I think they said he's only walked 7 batters in all his starts, which is it's phenomenal.
Okay, before I go, talk about East Liverpool. What's going on in this town that I love so much? Every time I try to leave, they pull me back. I love this town.
I think the town's turning around. We've got a new mayor in there,
Bobby
Smith, and I think there's a lot of enthusiasm. Drew Cooper's done a lot of stuff.
True North.
True North, and we have these First Friday concerts, and it's really good. I think, things are looking up.
Listen, some of the best years of my life were spent in this town. And every paycheck I earned, I spent on my friends because I just wanted to stay here. And when I had to leave, because it got to that point, I cried. It was really tough. So thank God I've been able to come back and do these wonderful videos. I don't know how much longer they're going to last, but I just want you to know how much you and your wife mean to me in this community. And Bob Duffy, who knows more about baseball than I ever will, delivering flowers for you for many years. There's still something about when that bell rings and people walk in and they have to get that special thing. You guys have always been able to make it work, so be happy and keep up the great work.
All right, thank you.
Listen,
We'll do our best.
You have no idea. I've been trying to do this for 10 years. This guy, he's just so unassuming, loves being under the radar, loves what he does. And remember, Bob and Robin's Flowers, for any occasion, for every reason, no matter the season, they're here for you. 34 years.
34 years.
And still going strong in East Liverpool. Good night, everybody.